Okay, what is happening, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing good this Tuesday morning. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell as well if you haven't done so already. Keeps you up to date with all my content. Of course, will notify you whenever I do upload or do go live. Make sure you have joined the Discord channel for Elevating Traders. If you haven't done so already, discount opportunities will be available there closer to launch. So make sure you go check it out if you haven't done so already. But yeah, I'm still looking to manage my Euro USD position. Still in that one since last Thursday, going pretty well so far. Seeing some nice higher highs and high lows on the lower time frame. So as long as we can keep that up, everything's looking pretty good. Of course, the main thing to focus on this week anyway is definitely Fed interest rate on Wednesday. So that will kind of make or break this position, whether Euro USD will get a nice kick to continue flying or things reverse and we start melting out the sky. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at a lot. A few other pairs I'm looking at, potentially some longs in dollar yen, potentially some shorts in euro entity if it can pull back a little bit higher. A couple of other pairs I'm looking at as well, but nothing I'm looking to pull the trigger on at the moment. Just kind of managing euro dollar at the moment. What's up, Nazar? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I have no idea what that is. Barbers. Could we have no promotion in the chat, please? Because yeah, that is not allowed. Euro JPY, yes, we'll take a look. No problemo. Your screen looks a little bit dark. Nothing visible. Is that is anyone else experiencing that? Nothing visible. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same as it always is. If anyone's else having some issues with the visibility, let me know. Good morning, OP. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning, Fantaneto. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, like I said, only looking at euro dollar at the moment. If potentially dollar yen can shape up, I might look to take a stab at this one. I like where we're trading. I like how we're trading as well. The price is really finding it tough to break through this low. So should we see some signs of momentum shifting, I may look to take a long position here, try and take advantage of some dollar yen upside. I'm not too afraid of doing it because my Euro USD position is break even, so there's no risk involved there. And technically, if I do buy dollar yen, I'm kind of buying USD, which does kind of go against my Euro USD position, but it could be a nice hedge potentially. But then again, do I want to hold $2 positions going into the Fed interest rate? Probably not. Probably not. I've already got one break even. Maybe it's not the smartest move to add some more risk onto dollar going into the news, because I know if I do enter this position, it will be a swing position. It might take a few days to get going. And of course, with the Fed tomorrow, I most likely will be holding my trade through that. So unless it looks really, really good, I probably will just stay out of it. But I do like the possibility of some upside in dollar yen. Clear as glass. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, Emmanuel. David, good morning. You can see the screen. No problem. Good, good, good. Thanks for letting me know. Nice trade you caught there. Congrats. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Euro USD is going quite well. I mean, I've been watching this one for about 3 weeks, I'll say. 2 or 3 weeks I've been watching Euro USD. If you look back all my previous weekly analysis videos, I've been looking for buys for euro, looking for buys for euro, just staying patient. We did have that original test of this area and things were looking pretty bullish at the time. I was wondering if I missed the move, but no. So I say FNP. NFP kicked in, price came right back down, tested the area I wanted in the first place, and luckily gave me the entry there. And again, that's a bit of trading. There's a bit of luck involved sometimes, not necessarily with your analysis or your strategy. That's all kind of something you work on, you put a lot of time in, and something that you cultivate. But in terms of actually whether you get a setup or not, or price retest your level or not, or price flies to take profit or not, or it takes you out break even, there is that element of just riding your luck a little bit. And Euro USD did come back and test my zone there. It could have just continued higher, but Euro USD wants to come back and test my zone for me. Found a nice entry, and we're looking pretty good here. So yeah, hopefully we can continue this. Like I said, Fed will be the big one tomorrow. If this one will kind of fly in my favor, if things look good, I probably will start trading the stop probably underneath this low. And if things look really good, then I'll probably take it underneath this low and see how far I can take it. In terms of targets, I have looked at this high and this high over here. So that's kind of where I expect the trade to get to. And then once we get there, I'll start being a bit more aggressive with my trail stop loss, because this is definitely an area where price can come straight back against me. So I want to kind of give it, not give it the opportunity to do that. So I'll be a bit more aggressive with my trail stop loss once we start coming up to these areas here. But for now, it's still at break even. So I'm still giving it, as much room as it needs to breathe. It can come all the way down here if it wants to. I'm giving it all that room. But yeah, if we continue, especially if we take this high out, I'll probably start trailing it underneath that low there. Again, it's not locking in much, but yeah, I want to give it room. The idea is with these swing trades, I want to give it room to play out, because the market, very rarely moves in straight lines. It will have some weird moves and wicks. So I don't want to get, caught out on one just to see price move my favor. I want to give its respect, give its room to breathe. So that's the kind of the plan I have with you at the moment. Azar, pound NZD, we'll take a look, no problem. Screen should be like Nick's screen on A1 Trading Show. I'm not too sure what you mean by that. I think his screen is actually very similar to mine. I think he has the same color background as well. But yeah, I have no idea what you mean by that. Anyway, so I will go take a look at pound NZD. Again, any requests you guys have, feel free to let us know in the chat, and of course we'll get to it. So yeah, pound NZD was a pair which I have been looking for shorts, but it's just very, very choppy in this area. So I've been reluctant to find any trades. In fact, if we push a little bit higher, that may interest me for pound NZD. Depends how we react there, but I like it because the risk reward looks pretty good. I do have a long-term bearish bias for pound NZD. So I do think this one can fall over the long term. Main reason is because of where we're trading on the higher time frames, especially the weekly, monthly charts. Back at this high here, I do expect us to see a pretty big move to the downside eventually. So that's where my long-term bias comes from. But of course, in the more short term, we may still push up. So I'm not going to look to be too optimistic with those sells, but something like this is pretty reasonable. So that's kind of what I'm after for pound NZD. I want to stay away from this. It's too choppy, too chaotic. The price doesn't even know what it's trying to do either. So if it can push higher back to this area, solid place for a stop loss as well above the high, and then hopefully a swing like this. And again, it doesn't have to be all the way to the low. There will be numerous areas you can look to book profits along the way as well, or just target outright. That'll be up to you. But there is some nice downside opportunities there for pound NZD. Should you push a little bit higher to roughly around 2.14. So that's kind of my outlook now for pound NZD. Have to admit, it's not my favorite pair at the moment, but something like that could entice me. And if it does break through that, then price is probably going to push back to the high anyway. So it's a solid place for a stop loss. Aussie New Zealand dollar is better positioned for shorts. I haven't really looked at Aussie New Zealand dollar much, to be honest, lately. Just not a big fan of the price action, but of course I'll take a look. OP, okay, I'll take a look at USD CAD as well. I like USD CAD actually as well. Could be seeing opportunity on that one soon. As day trading, yeah, pound NZD day trading is not the best pair, I have to admit. There are a lot of other pairs that I would recommend trading before I would trade pound NZD in terms of day trading. Number one, spread is not the best with pound NZD. It's not crazy, but it's just compared to Euro USD, Euro will be a lot better. And in terms of the way it moves as well, I would say pound NZD is a much better pair to swing. because it can kind of chop around a lot and then suddenly will just break out with a lot of momentum. So if you're in a swing, you're looking for a bit slightly longer term move, you can catch some really nice swings with pound NZD. But day trading, especially day to day, you'll get some choppy moves like this, which are chaotic. And then sometimes you'll have some really nice moves, which is why I say swing trading is not bad. But yeah, it can be a very chaotic pair. But if you're looking for day trades, I mean, there is a clear range here. There's a high roughly, and that's a low roughly there as well. I'll be focusing on the buys here for pound NZD, since from an intraday perspective, price is in a kind of rough uptrend right now. So something like this would be a nice little buy, especially if you can get stop loss underneath that low there. And then trying to take it back to the high would be kind of what I'll be looking to do. So play the range essentially, but looking for buys down at the low, because then I have the possibility of catching that breakout, which might take us into the level I was referring to before. So yeah, if I'm looking at pound NZD, it would be buys. I would avoid break and retest here, because especially if how price is moving, there's a very high chance it could easily be a fake out. So break and retest, not the best setup here, I would say. If you can come back to the lows, find some entries here, stop loss with a bit of wiggle room, that looks like the most logical trade there for me. And this could turn into a nice swing position as well if you want to hold it. But yeah, if I'm looking at day trading pound NZD, something like that makes the most sense. Anything in here, I'll stay away. Not looking clear at all. But yeah, that's the best I've got intraday with that pair. Okay, so I'll go through dollar CAD and Aussie New Zealand dollar. What's up, Nkeba? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Now screen is looking better. Nice. I mean, I didn't do anything, so I'm glad it is looking better. Okay, we'll go through Aussie New Zealand dollar USD CAD, Euro Yen. Completely forgot about Euro Yen. In fact, I'll do that first because pretty sure that was the first pair you someone asked for. But yeah, Euro Yen back at support. I like Euro Yen to the downside. I do think this one's going to keep falling for quite a while. Same with a lot of the pound NZD pairs. However, we've already had a big move down and we're coming back into some major support. We can see previously a lot of wicks in this area there again as well. And briefly over the past few days, we've seen some wicks there too. So this here is a higher time frame level of support, and I do expect to see a bounce. Now, my thought process is for Euro Yen, I'm expecting some upside, but simply for price to just have a pullback, have a bit of a breather for us to continue in this bearish path. So the buys could definitely be worthwhile, because something like this could take a few days to get going, and there could be a lot of pips to take advantage of the buys. But I do see price continuing a lot lower. So this is really the move I'm after. If it does shape up, of course, that will take some time. But for now, Euro Yen's had a pretty big move down. You can see there on the 4 hour, quite stretched, quite corrective now as well. So I do expect us to see some upside. I think in terms of entries, you probably want to see price come back down one more time before looking for a buy, because you've already seen a nice reaction. Now price is stalling again. You can see all these prior lower highs. We're now back in that area where price can potentially put another one. So now's not the best time to be looking to buy. So if you can push down back into the lows here, find some buys here. If you can see some wicks, that would be great. See some wicks there again. That could be a nice entry in the 4 hour or the hourly. Stop loss below the low, and then potentially could catch a nice bounce there to the upside. And then, we could discuss some sells later on. But the buys look good for Euro Yen, especially where we're trading, especially because the market is so stretched as well. We've had such a big move down, so buys, or at least some upside is likely, at least in terms of retracement. But yeah, in terms of entries, in terms of finding a good entry, I will wait for price to push back one more time, and then see if we can get an entry on that next low, and then seeing how far I can take it. Back to these highs there could, all of these highs could be some really nice targets to work with. Depending how aggressive you want to be, you'll place your target, at which area makes the most sense to you. But in terms of Euro Yen, I would expect some upside pretty soon. That's kind of my thought process with a lot of the yen pairs. We've had some big moves down. I do feel like they can retrace now. Still expecting a lot more downside longer term, but I do expect to see some retracement. Let me know what you're looking at for Euro yen as well. We'll go back to Aussie New Zealand dollar and we'll take a look at dollar CAD as well. What's up, Indumiso? Hope I'm saying that correctly. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. What is your strategy name? Don't really have a strategy name. I suppose confluence-based trading, but then confluence, involves a lot of different things. The way I look at it, the market is basically in terms of market structure and support and resistance. And I try to buy at key areas where buyers are looking to enter the market. I try to sell where sellers are looking to enter the market and buyers are looking to exit. Essentially, I'm trying to trade market structure. So I'm looking for breaking retests. I'm looking for price coming back into double tops, essentially. I'm looking for price to pull back onto higher lows or lower highs and taking trades or swing points. And then I'm using confluence to help aid my decision whether a trade is high quality or lower quality. But yeah, there's not really a name for it. Of course, there's been a lot of names over the recent years about different models and stuff. But yeah, the way I trade is very textbook. It's based around market structure and support resistance. Pound USD, we'll take a look as well. Let me first go for Aussie New Zealand dollar before I forget about that pair as well. So you said you're looking for a sell, I believe. Yeah, you're looking for shorts. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this pair, mainly because of how it's moving. This is the monthly chart. If you're seeing the monthly chart look like this, it's not a great start. The weekly chart is more the same. Had the nice range high up there, which the market wicked through, kind of the low around here, and we've just been trading back and forth in this area. So with pound NZD, I do like the downside potential because we kind of faked the high here. So now I'm kind of expecting price to use that to its advantage and sell off back to the low. So that's kind of what I'm looking for for Aussie New Zealand dollar to do from a higher time frame perspective. But of course, in terms of trading that's where it becomes a little bit tricky because trying to find a good place for an entry is very difficult in conditions like this because the market is hard to predict. As I said a few weeks ago, if the price was to get back to the high here, I feel like that would be a great place to short. It's a concrete level. It's obvious. Stops above the high makes a lot of sense. If the market is going to break through that, then we probably are going to break out anyway. But shorts in these areas, a little bit tricky. I mean, short off the high there is not the worst trade in the world. So some downside from there makes sense. And I think that's probably the setup you're looking at. So I don't mind that, but I'm just not going to expect the world from that. I'm not going to expect the market to fully dump in my direction. We might see a nice reaction, but after that reaction, I'll be looking to remove risk. So trail stops or book some profit somewhere, especially if you can come back into a low like this or something like that. I'll be looking to take some profit around these areas and then just seeing how far I can take it. Can it come back to the low? Can it go further? Maybe. But it's not a bad area. We've already seen some nice rejection then the 4 hour. Hourly's rejecting it pretty well too. So it's not a bad area for a short, but I would be, trying to manage that a bit aggressively because of how the market is moving. It's not clean and it's not really in your favor that much. So I would be careful of that. But yeah, shorts look good from that area. Stops above the high, seeing if we can catch a nice reaction. So I don't mind that from Aussie New Zealand dollar, but yeah, I don't like the pair at all. Sometimes it has its opportunities, so I do keep an eye on it, but I can't remember the last time I traded it. What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Decided to take some profits. Take profits at 1.32 pound USD. Okay, we'll have a look at that as well. First, let me go through dollar CAD. So for dollar CAD, so for this one, another ranging market, but I like this one because it's moving a little bit more cleaner than Aussie New Zealand dollar, and it's got great level which it's trading at right now, which makes it very attractive to sell from. So of course you got your textbook range there, you got the high, you got the low, and recently we had a really big rejection at the high. So I'm naturally expecting price to drift and make its way back to the lower end of the range, which is a pretty reasonable estimation. Now that we have seen a nice reaction, we've broken through some really significant levels on the daily chart. As we can see, big level support here was prior resistance over here as well. So it's been a really significant level which the price has shown a lot of interest in. And as you can see, we're back trading at that same area now as resistance. So if the market is going to hold this, fantastic. This could be a great place where the market will form its next lower high after this big drop, lower high, and then I'm going to expect a continuation. Stops above the high, and then hopefully we can get a swing back to the low and potentially even further as well, but we'll just focus on that low for now. So in terms of USD CAD, I would be looking at shorts for this one. I think in terms of entries, I would like to see price going to push up one more time back into the high and then see if I can find some entries on the retest there, because we had a nice reaction last week. Since then, the market has just kind of been ranging. So it's probably actually waiting for the news tomorrow. We might see price just kind of continuously do this until the news, which might then give us a nice spike to the upside and then price melts, or something along those lines. But I would be waiting to see if price can push high, because we're lacking momentum right now. Price needs something to get going. So if I can get an entry up at the high, stop loss above the high there as well, something like that can really maximize the risk reward for a swing back into the low. And I know that we're trading at big levels, so I'm happy to put my stop loss above that area there as well. So yeah, dollar CAD, I like it to the downside. I'm pretty bearish on USD as well. We'll take a look at the DXY in a moment, but I'm very bearish on the USD longer term. Of course, in terms of the intraday fluctuation, that's difficult to call. We might see a bullish day today or a bullish day tomorrow, but generally speaking, I do expect USD to be weak. So I'll, predominantly most of my opportunities, I'm looking to take advantage of USD sells, maybe some minor buys I might look to take in, but mostly USD sells is what I'm after. And USD CAD is trading at a great level. And if you can maintain that level as resistance and we don't break above it, then I would be anticipating the market to sell off. So yeah, I'll look for at least one more push higher, find some entries at the top around 1.361, and then see if I can swing it back to that low would be my expectation for dollar CAD over the next few days. But yeah, the Fed tomorrow will have a big part to play. What's up, Anis? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Good morning, or good afternoon. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook with dollar CAD. In terms of pound USD, so you've locked in some gains around 1.32. Okay, so around here. So is that you out the position then, Will, or do you still have some positions on? But otherwise, it's been a phenomenal move because I think you got into the trade around here-ish. So yeah, it's a really nice move to 1.32, basically from 1.305-ish or 1.3 to 1.32. Really nice move there for pound. But yeah, it's been a really great trade. I still do think there's more upside to be had with pound. But of course, we do have some news tomorrow, which could definitely put some bumps in the road with pound USD. But I am pretty bullish, at least back to the high, which is 1.326. So once we get to that high, then it's anyone's game, because I am expecting longer term to be a big retracement on pound USD and euro as well, for that matter, because we've had some really nice moves to the upside over the recent weeks. So I do feel like at some point pound is going to go through a bigger correction, and there could be some nice downside to take advantage of. But yeah, let's not speak about that now, because the market's still pretty bullish and I'm not seeing any opportunities for shorts. We just had a really nice breaking test off this high not too long ago. So I'm expecting us to revisit that high. So once we get there, then I will reinvestigate because maybe price will look bearish after that and we start selling off. Maybe there could be some sells we can speak about there as well. But for now, pound USD is still pretty bullish to me. And yeah, 1.326 looks likely. If anyone's looking to get involved with pound, I would say a retracement back here could be nice in terms of entry. So something like that could look good for a buy. I wouldn't want to buy the market now because we're just coming back into this area here on the left. So now is not the time for buys, in my opinion. Maybe intraday, like 5 minute, you can look for some nice scalps, 15 maybe. But I wouldn't look to try to hold any positions to the upside at this location. I'll wait for price to come, closer to some buy bullish territory. This is where we had a brief consolidation and we broke to the upside for momentum. Haven't really had a retest of that area as well, so that would be a nice place for a buy. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty bullish on pound, and I do think we'll continue higher a little bit more at least. Okay, decided to close full position since I have a bad habit of not taking profits. Fair enough. Well, again, if you understand that you're in that boat, then might as well do your best to try and correct that situation. But yeah, not taking profits is can be a killer. I mean, we spoke about this yesterday with Ben. That the hardest part of trading is probably the exit. Really, entries. Of course, you can try and refine your entries to the best of your ability and try to minimize your stop loss, of course. But entry is an entry at the end of the day, and a stop loss is a stop loss. But where you exit will define whether the trade is a winner or a loser. And how big the winner is as well. So exits are tough to get right, and it's always hindsight. You always look back in hindsight like, oh, I should have held on, or I should have closed quicker, or should have done this, should have done that. So exits are tricky. My best advice for exit is just have a systematic plan of where you're going to exit, and then stay true to that. That's the best way, in my opinion. Because anything else, if you're freestyling, it's always going to be an emotional roller coaster. But yeah, I can't knock that, Will, because it was a pretty nice trade from 1.305-ish all the way to 1.32. So really nice trade there in pound. Roadway, I heard a lot of traders saying that they're bearish dollar long term, but what does that look like days, months? Good question. I do say that a lot as well. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good as well. But yeah, when I mean long term, I'm normally referring to the daily time frame / the weekly time frame, because a lot of my analysis is done on the daily and a bit on the weekly as well. So whenever I have a long term bias, I'm normally talking about the daily, weekly time frame, and that move could last anywhere between maybe like 2 weeks to potentially 2 months. So long term, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If I really stress long term, then it could be 6+. But normally when I reference long term, I'm talking about between 2 weeks and 2 months. That's kind of what I'm looking at. But then other traders could be talking about a lot longer than that. It depends what time frames they're working with. But for me, long term is like 2 weeks to 8 weeks. That's a meaningful swing in the market. Pound yen, Nazar, we'll take a look at that one, no problem. That's good to hear, Chris. Good to hear. Philip, what is up? I'm doing good, my man. Hope you're well. Kindly analyze Bitcoin. Yes, we'll have a look at BTC. First, let me just go through pound yen, then we'll see what's cooking with Bitcoin. So yeah, pound yen, another lovely yen pair. So we did see a bit of upside yesterday, but I'm looking for a lot more than that before I do take any shorts. Like I've been saying with the yen pairs, I do expect a lot more downside with these guys. I'm looking for a push into 180 with pound yen. But the key thing I want to see is some upside. I want to see the market find support and push up so I can look to take some sells back down again. That's the swing I'm after. And I may look to take advantage of some of the buys up with dollar yen. Depends how it looks, and depends as well with the Fed tomorrow. I may stay out of the market because of that. But the key move I'm looking for is this move here for pound yen back to 180, 179. So what I want to see is the market push back to roughly around 189 before I do start looking to short the market. In terms of the buys, it would have been nice to get in on this low here. If not, you probably want to see price push one more time down and look for some entries. There's this daily low here at 183, which could send the market higher up as well. So in terms of some entries there for pound yen buys, I would definitely want to see price push back down again if I'm not already in the position, of course. And throw me some more wicks like we did over here, and then try and look for some entries there to take it up higher. But the meat of the move for me is still with the bears. So I'm very, very eager on this trade opportunity here and looking to sell it back down. So I'm hoping pound yen keeps pushing higher so I can short it at a later date. Same thing for most of the yen pairs. I'm looking for a similar move. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. If you're ready in the buy, great. If not, you kind of want price to push down and then look for some buys. If you're looking to sell, then I would hold out a little bit more upside back to 189 roughly, a retest of this support level. And then hopefully we can discuss some shorts later on. But that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen. That's where I'm at. And again, the shorts are very interesting as well because they come down pretty hard. Of course, this is an exaggeration. Not all the shorts are going to look like that. But I spoke on this yesterday as well. If you look at how the yen pairs do push higher up and then how they move down, their shorts are most of the time more aggressive. So it's going to be faster price action, not as big of pullbacks, and you're going to move further quicker as well. So yeah, if you blink and you miss it. Okay, we'll go take a look at Bitcoin as well next. Tomorrow's news are going to be interesting. 50 is scary for the US, but 25 for the market. Could go slow down the bullish movement, possibly. Again, I'm not going to try and forecast too much. With every single major news event, I always have my technical bias of what I'm looking to do in the markets because at the end of the day, I'm a technical trader. So, I've looked at my markets. I know exactly which markets I want to trade and exactly what I want to look for, what the setup is I want to look for in terms of USD. I'm bearish in USD. I'm looking at opportunities predominantly to sell the USD. So I have in my head already what I'm looking to do. If the markets do something crazy and out of the blue, and I have to change my bias, and of course I will change my bias as well. I'm not married to the shorts. If things look bullish, I will of course change with it. Yeah, I'm just going to stay open-minded, see what the news gives us. Of course, keep an eye on the press conference half an hour after as well, because that will cause some movement too. But yeah, I'm still very bearish on USD longer term. It might mean we do see some strength in USD short term for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days for the rest of the week, but I'm prepared for that. Anyway, we'll go through Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, not a big fan of this one. We're still kind of moving in this descending channel, and it's been a tricky one. Let me make sure that we can see that. There we go. So yeah, we'll be moving this descending channel. So my analysis for Bitcoin is pretty simple. If price is at the low, I can look to investigate. Price is at the high, I can look to investigate. When price is in the middle of this channel, of this range, there's not a lot I can do in here. There's not a lot I can do because this is where price becomes more chaotic and more speculative and difficult to find some good opportunities. When we're at the low, yes, either price is going to break through or it's going to hold. And when we see some wicks like this, we know there's a good chance price is going to hold, and therefore we can start looking for some buys. And of course, the inverse is true with the sells as well. But whilst we're in here, I'm not going to say too much about Bitcoin because it's very difficult to say what price is going to do next. So yeah, I wouldn't really speak too much about the price action here because it's very indecisive. If you're looking to trade Bitcoin, I would definitely suggest waiting for price to come back to the low or pushing back to, or pushing to the high, and then look for some opportunities either side. But in the middle here, I think it's 50-50. I think the last time we did push, we didn't make it back to the highs. That's not a good sign either. So yeah, I do think Bitcoin probably will come back down again. And then that's where we can start discussing some buy opportunities. But for now, I'm not very confident with Bitcoin. Not very confident at all. Let me know your thoughts on BTC as well. Would a recession be really bad though? I mean, the US for sure, but for buyers, maybe not so. Shouldn't we hope for that 50? I wouldn't necessarily hope for it. Because again, whether it's 25 base points, it decreases by, or 50, to me, it doesn't really make a big deal. Rates are still cut, just it's cut more with the 50, of course. So we might see price be a bit more chaotic, a bit more volatile if it is 50 base points rather than 25. And as a trader who focuses purely on technical analysis for my trading decisions, it just means the market's more volatile. Maybe we break some levels I didn't expect to break, but then I'll reanalyze, readjust, and go again. So in terms of the technicals, there's nothing really. Of course, unexpected moves happen, but I've been in the market so long that as long as your risk is managed, as long as you overexpose yourself, whatever happens, and you realize you go again. So for me, whether it's 25 or 50, just depends on the volatility of the market, and I move. Good morning, Tracerts. I'm definitely saying that incorrectly, but I hope you're well. Good morning, right back at you. What's the consensus on NAS? Well, my consensus is very bullish on NAS. I do think NAS has a lot of room to the upside because if you look at US 30, if you look at S&P, these other major US indices, US 30 anyways, created new all-time highs. So we're right back at the highs for US 30. So looking very, very bullish. S&P, I believe, is about to do the same. So we're coming back into the high now. We're looking pretty bullish. We probably will take up the high at some point, maybe today or if not tomorrow, and create some new highs there as well. So S&P very bullish, US 30 very bullish. NAS is looking pretty bullish as well, but you can see it's very, very far away from the high. So I like NAS because there's opportunity within it. Same way I look at gold and silver. Gold and silver move in the same direction most of the time, but because silver is nowhere near its all-time high, I see a lot of opportunity in silver because I do expect it to get back to its all-time high at some point. And because it's so far away, that means there's going to be a lot of buying opportunities on the way up. Same thing with NAS. I do think NAS is going to get back to this high at some point, just like US 30, just like S&P. But because it's so far away, there's a lot of opportunity to be taken advantage of here. So yesterday I said for NAS, if we could see a pullback back into this area, this could be a really nice place for a buy. We've got former resistance there, support there as well. This to me looks like a really sensible place for a buy. But at the moment, it doesn't look like we'll get there. So yeah, that boat might have sailed. That's the thing about the indices as well, because I've been back testing the indices quite a lot. They don't have as deep as a pullback as the FX do. Okay, Tracerts. Yes. Okay. Because I normally butcher a lot of people's names. So yeah, thanks for helping me out there. But yeah, in terms of the indices, we don't see as big of pullbacks as we do with FX because most of my experience is with FX. So I'm very used to bigger pullbacks and retest and break and retest. But with indices, we don't see it as much. It happens, but just not as much. So yeah, it doesn't look like we might get this opportunity. The next best opportunity may just be a break and retest of the high here. I'm focusing on more intraday opportunities here for NAS. Something like this might be the next best bet. I'm trying to catch that next high low, but yeah, I do think we'll keep pushing high up. And I think we'll eventually go and hit the high there on the left as well. But I don't expect you to make that swing in one trade. I mean, maybe, but yeah, I would be only focused on the buys here of NAS. There's a lot of upside opportunity there, and that's my thought process with silver exactly as well. Because if you look at gold's at all-time highs, looking so bullish, whereas you look at silver's looking pretty bullish as well. But if you expand to the higher time frames and look, where is that, that last all-time high, the last major swing high, so all the way up here, all the way up there. So I'm expecting silver to eventually get there again. So as a swing trader, I'm going to try and find those buying opportunities to ride it up. And again, I'm not expecting it to happen, in a short space of time. It'll probably take some time, but I do expect it to catch up with gold a little bit. So I like silver from that perspective. And we're not even back at this high yet. So that's our first major target. So as I've said, if I can get a retest of here for silver, I will be interested in some longs there. So if I drop to the 4 hour, if you can get a nice corrective pullback, something like that, and a nice bounce there somewhere, I'll be more than happy to find an entry and see if I can take it back to 32.4, 32.2, and seeing how far I can take it. But with silver, it's definitely something that I would be looking to trail stops at, because silver can explode, and I want to give it enough room to really explode in my favor. So I'll definitely be looking to give it some room with my stops. But yeah, at the moment, I'm going to kind of just manage Euro USD. Like I said, my stops are still at break even, so I'm still giving this guy as much room as it needs to play out. If it continues to break past the swing point here, I will look to go and lock in some gains around this swing point here. It's not a lot. My original stop loss was underneath the area here, so I was probably like 0.2 R, to be honest. So it's not a lot, but the key thing I'm focusing on here is not trying to bank in gains quickly. It's trying to give it the room it needs to breathe, because I'm expecting Euro USD to get back to 1.125, which is the high there. So I'm trying to give it enough room as it needs to get there without me getting in the way of my trail stop loss. Then when it does eventually get there, then I'll be a bit more aggressive, because if price is going to reverse against me, that is a great place, or a place with good probability, or of good potential, where price can reverse against me. So at that point, I want to trail my stop loss a bit more aggressively to not give it the opportunity to to reverse all my gains. So yeah, that's kind of my management plan with euro. Other than that, there's a few other pairs I'll keep an eye on. Dollar yen I'll keep an eye on. Euro NZD I'll keep an eye on. Still just not testing that level yet either. Is anyone else in any pairs at the moment? Any trades at the moment? Chris, is it advisable to trade multiple pairs? What would you advise a beginner trader? Good question. It depends what type of trader you are. If you're a swing trader, then of course you will trade naturally more pairs, because your opportunities would be less frequent than a day trader. I would suggest, though, start with less than add more, because I feel like, especially for a beginner, it's better to start with less and then add as you go along, rather than start with too much and that would become too hectic for you, and then you undo a lot of your hard work. So if you're a day trader, I'll probably say start with maybe 2 or 3 pairs, and then as you gain more experience, more confidence, then you can probably handle a little bit more, 4, 5, 6, maybe more than that as well. Because again, the goal for us traders is to consistently take the best trades we can find. Maybe that might come up on Euro USD today, but tomorrow it might be in dollar yen. And Euro USD today doesn't look too good. So you want to have that flexibility with different pairs to choose from. But at the end of the day, if you're a beginner, you need to actually know what you're looking for in the first place. So I think less is more in the begin with, and then once you become more comfortable, you're seeing some consistency. You can always add more if you want to later on. So I'd say two or three if you're day trading. If you're swing, maybe six or seven to start with, and then you can expand that to 10, 15, 20, a lot more. Of course, you need to have a routine with that. You're not just looking at 20 charts every single day. But yeah, I'd say if you're starting out, two or three day trading, or even just one if you're scalping, and you swing six or seven, and then you can work your way up from there. But yeah, less is more in the beginning. Certainly, if you haven't found your groove yet, found your feet yet. Good morning, Karis. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Short gold and long euro, both currently in profit. Nice. I'm currently long euro as well. Shorting gold's pretty brave. I have to give it to you, to be honest, because gold is in the middle of nowhere. We've just broken through the high, we're at all-time highs here. So I do expect gold to retrace. So, I can understand it from that perspective. Gold's, very, very bullish. It's likely to retrace. But of course, we haven't necessarily hit a big level, in my eyes, with the middle of nowhere. So shorting that is always going to be a difficult thing for me to do. But yeah, we are pushing down quite nicely there with gold. What's your target? Do you have a plan for gold? Are you training stops? Do you have a TP at place? Do you have a target place? Let me know. Because gold, in fairness, has been consolidating over the past day or so. It looks like we're trying to break out of that, which could be the catalyst for a lot more downside, to be honest. But yeah, I'm still very bullish on gold. So if we do push down, for me, it's probably just going to be a pullback for price to continue higher. So that's the move I'm interested in with gold. But we'll have to wait and see. Roadway, for people who call tops and indices are more brave than me. I can fully attest to that. Selling against them now because they close to the highs is crazy to me. Yeah, I agree. I mean, to an extent, because of course you've got to try and call some type of low, some type of top at some point, even if it's just a pullback. You're not calling a top. For example, if I go to US 30, not necessarily calling a top in terms of, okay, the market's moved up and now you're trying to call where that next top is. But in terms of buying pullbacks, you do call bottoms, not the bottom, but you do call bottoms here as well. So you do have to be brave enough to take those positions, those pullbacks. But if the market is flying to the upside and you try and call a top where the market's going to fall, of course, that is always a very aggressive trade, a trade which I'll stay far away from. Especially for all-time highs, because you have no idea where the market's going to sell from. It could move another 300 points if it wants to before it sell off. The sky's literally the limit. So those type of trades, I'm with you 100%, but we still do have to try and call some bottoms here and now and tops as well. No trade is ever, never a free trade or never just an easy trade to take. There's always going to be risk involved. But yeah, I would never try and call a top like that. No problem, Chris. Happy to help. Gold profit already locked in. First target 25.27. Okay, let me have a look at that. 25.27. Okay, so you're looking at, so you're targeting these areas here where all these rejections are. Okay, that's what I'm looking to buy from. So I'd imagine you've locked, that's even the first target. So that's where you've, so I imagine you locked in break even. So there's no risk on the table anymore. And then you're going to see if price can get to that first target around 25.27. So yeah, I'm looking to buy from there. So in terms of a target, it makes sense because that's the most kind of obvious place where the market has tested a few times. So naturally, that's kind of where you would expect the market to get to. And I'm trying to buy from there as well. So I'm hoping price can get there for your sake and for mine too. But yeah, if you already break even, then of course there's no risk on the table. That's kind of some of the best positions to be in. You're in a winning trade, your risk is off the table, because then it's up to the market now. Sure, it might come back and hit you at break even. There's no skin off your back onto the next trade. If it does, move to your profit targets, then fantastic, you're making money. So yeah, it's always a nice place to be in, risk-free, because then it's kind of stress-free in my eyes as well. But yeah, hopefully it does get there for your sake, because yeah, I want to buy from there as well and take it higher. Of course, I'll see how price gets there, how we react. Those will be important factors and characteristics as well. But my plan very much is I'm still bullish on gold, looking for more of the same until I'm proven otherwise, until market breaks structure and it takes out some lows. And of course, I will stand aside. But for now, I'm still looking to see if I can take gold higher. And yeah, same with silver as well, if it can pull back enough, but we'll have to see. I've been keeping an eye on the DXY because we're at an interesting level of support as well for the dollar. I've been saying I'm very bearish on USD, and I'm expecting lower prices for USD. And in fact, this is where I'm expecting price to push into when I'm talking about my lower target. So 99.6, 99.5. This is where I do see the DXY getting the DXY moving towards. However, we're still trading at some critical support here, which we haven't broken through yet. So that's my only worry, because we could still see a lot of buyers come into the market here, especially with the Fed tomorrow. If things go a certain way, price could definitely find that necessary catalyst to push up high. So if that's the case, I mean, I have planned for this as well. There are areas up high which I would like to not necessarily sell from, but expect downside from. So if you do push up, I'm looking at 102,500 for some shorts. If we push even higher, I'm looking at 104. Of course, in the meantime, there probably is some buys to take advantage of if we're going to push up that high. But this is still very much the move I'm looking for. Back to 99.6. And of course, for euro, I'm looking for a push into 1.12. On the other hand, we could still very much break through the low here and just be on our way, which will be the best case scenario for my position on euro as well, because at that point, we're breaking through the low. USD is just going to continue being weak for the rest of the week, probably. And that will just carry my position, my longs on euro to my targets, probably. So that's kind of what I'll be hoping for, but hope is nothing that you want to be latching onto in this game, as we are probably all aware of that now. But we'll wait and see. Like I said, with the euro position, the risk off the table as well. So worst case scenario, I do get stopped at break even, which it won't be the first time. It won't be the last time that happens to me as well. So if that happens, it happens. But hopefully we can get the break. It looks like price is trying to go for the break this morning with that push, but it's going to need a lot of momentum. There is some news today as well. Let's not forget. There is some news today at 1:30 UK time. We actually got CAD CPI as well at 1:30 as well. So look out for that. If you are trading any CAD pairs, you might want to keep your eye on that news. But in terms of USD, we do have retail sales at 1:30 as well, same time as the CAD. And that potentially could be a catalyst to get price moving. I say we're waiting for the Fed tomorrow, but retail sales can move the market potentially. And then Wednesday, we've got inflation for pound. We've got CPI for euro. And then we've got the Fed in the evening, at least for me anyway. And then Thursday, we've got Bank of England interest rates, which is expected to stay the same. But yeah, in terms of the Fed for tomorrow, rates are expected to drop to 5.25. So it's only supposed to be 25 base points. But if it's 50, I'll be expecting a volatile market. But as I always say, keep an eye on that press conference at 7:30. Because I've seen many times where the market moves one way at 7 or whatever time the news comes out for you guys. But for me in the UK, it's 7. So I've seen the news come out, price moves one way, and then at 7:30 it would completely change direction and move the other way. And yeah, that's always a fun sight to see as well. So keep an eye on the press conference. It's definitely not all over and done with at 7. But yeah, we do have 1:30. We do have some news at 1:30 today, which can move the market too. So definitely keep an eye on that. It's not a major news event, retail sales, but I don't know. We've been seeing even minor news events cause a lot of movement recently. So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's kind of my outlook with USD, expecting a lot more downside. But for now, I think my attention will be shifting. Dole, you just said, "Oh yeah," in the chat. I'm not too sure what you're referencing there. But yeah, my attention is probably shifting more to the NPES now because Euro USD is doing its own thing. The only thing I need to focus on that is just management, which is pretty straightforward. In terms of finding more opportunities, I'm debating this USD yen position here long. I'm looking for something like this. I'm very bearish on dollar yen longer term. I do feel like this market's gonna melt because if we expand to the higher time frames, particularly the monthly chart, you can see the prices we've got to and see how the market has been falling for a very, very long time. This is a pretty exaggerated pullback, so I do expect us to at least come back and test some of the highs there on the left. That's an awful line. Let me do that again. I do expect us to at least come back to some of these areas within due time. So I do see a lot more downside for dollar yen. So as a swing trader, I just want to be looking for the shorts and just hanging on to them as long as possible, really. But in the meantime, I'm not blind to these buy opportunities. The only thing that's keeping me out the buys right now is that I don't want to double up on USD going into the interest rates tomorrow. That's the only thing that would deter me away from buying this. I mean, first off, I need a stronger candle closure, so I'll be waiting for that anyway. But if I do get that, the only thing that would make me not trade is because of the Fed tomorrow. But that could be a nice little trade there for USD JPY. Good morning, Kayvon. Welcome to the stream. Is oil falling down? I haven't actually been keeping tabs on oil, to be honest. I don't trade oil, but of course, when people request it on the stream, I will, of course, have a look. And yes, oil is falling pretty hard. Actually, I was looking at oil yesterday. I remember I was going through oil yesterday. So yeah, yesterday I was talking about the retest of this low here for a shorts around 71.72. So I'm looking for price to come back into 66. At this point in time, I'm not too sure if we will see that push into 71, 72 because, yeah, potentially price might be on its way already. But if it does come up higher, 71, 72 still looks like a nice place for a short to me. Oh, did not mean to do that. Still looks like a nice place for a short to me. Still, as we can see, price used it as support pretty well. If we can get back there again, use it as resistance, stops above the high, targets back at the low. That to me looks like a really straightforward position there on oil. And given the fact that if we zoom out, the market's been falling pretty hard over the past few days, few weeks, looking for that next lower high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, makes a lot of sense to me there. And I think at some point we'll probably break through this level too, but we can speak about that on another day. So yeah, for oil is falling pretty hard right now, but I wouldn't short it unless you're already in a short. Then of course, do your thing. But if you're looking to get involved in the short, that move there is definitely run its course because now it's coming back into support. And we might see a bit of friction around here. So I would wait for a bigger move to the upside. This is a lovely level. We haven't retested it either as well. So it's crying out for a retest. And if we can get there, keep an eye for some shorts back down again. But I am bearish on oil. Do you think oil can keep falling? There's a lot of room for us to fall into. But we can speak about it another day because we've got to break through the level first. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, look at that. S&P is really pushing up. Is anyone trading the indices today? I mean, it's a little bit difficult to trade, especially S&P, because all we've done is just consolidate, and then we've just kind of shot up this morning. So unless you kind of bought the breakout, it's kind of difficult to get a trade there. I think US 30, yeah, kind of similar. Unless you're kind of buying the breakout of that, difficult to get a trade. No problem, Kayvon. Happy to help. I'll be looking to add US 30 to my watch list pretty soon. My watch list has always been made up of FX miners, majors, and gold and silver. But testing's gone pretty well with US 30. I've had to adapt to it because US 30 does move a little bit different to your standard FX. Like I've said, you don't really get that many break and retests. Of course, you do, just not as much as FX. And these ones is actually more beneficial to be a bit more aggressive with trying to catch the higher lows, because if you catch it right, it can really rip in your favor. You don't really see these moves in FX too much. So it pays to be correct here a lot more than FX, especially if you're looking to catch some swings. So I'll probably be looking to get rid of Aussie New Zealand dollar, because this one has been very, very difficult to trade, at least with my style. If you're looking at a lot of mean reversion, looking at trading range plays, then Aussie New Zealand dollar might be a decent pair for you. But in terms of me, who likes trending, who likes seeing swings and seeing higher highs and higher lows continuously, or lower lows and lower highs continuously, this is just not such a good market. And the thing is, I'm just trading at the wrong time, because if you do expand to higher time frames, you can see it does have some swings about it, Aussie New Zealand dollar. But since 2015, it's just been a complete range. I do expect this one to eventually break out at some point and give us a nice swing back to the upside. And this will be a great time to trade Aussie New Zealand dollar as we push up, back to the highs here. But for now, we're still in the range here. This range could last easily another year, so I'm not gonna waste my time with this market, and just look at something that is a bit more free flowing. So yeah, I'll probably get rid of this one. In Keba, okay, pound yen, we'll take a look. Okay, you've bought it, 185.750, stop loss 185. Okay, we'll have a look at that position. Will short seems good to me. Yeah, if they can get that retest, I think it's a nice short. No problem, my man. Have a good one. For now, sitting on the hands. Not a bad decision to make, my man, with for the news coming out over the next couple of days. No need to always be in the markets. But have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side. And yeah, I think that's a skill that a lot of us will benefit from, sitting on our hands a little bit more. Because if you think about it, we all have those trades we take which look really, really good. You take the trade, it works out very well. Then you're like, wow, trading's actually pretty easy. And then you go and take some rubbish trades and lose all the money you made plus more. And trading really is just getting rid of those rubbish trades that you take in between of the good ones. You take one good one, you take 5 rubbish, and you take another good one, then you take 5 more rubbish trades. Imagine if you just didn't take those 5 rubbish and you had the good. Of course, it won't be win-win-win all the time. Of course not. But your equity curve will be a lot healthier for it. And sitting on your hands is the remedy for that. Not just trying to take every trade that comes your way, which is difficult to do, because you wanna be active, you wanna be be proactive, and sometimes in trading, being inactive is actually the better thing to do, believe it or not. Anyway, we'll go through pound yen. And Kev, you said you're in a buy. So you've got a long position on pound yen. Let's see what price you're working with. 185,750. 185,750. Okay, that's just below current price. Around here somewhere. Let me mark it on the chart. Around there. Stop loss 185,273. 185,273. Okay, that's around there-ish. So just underneath that low, I would suppose. And your targets is 186.4, which is around there, and then 186.8, which is around there. Okay, I don't mind it, I don't mind it. It's a nice place for a stop loss. I think the target makes sense as well because, of course, this is where we sold off on our last lower high when we formed it over here. So effectively, you want to be looking to secure gains as we do approach that high. So in terms of your first target, I do like it. What time frame are you trading this? Trading this on? Is it the 4 hour? I thought it'd be a bit more intraday than that. I mean, I can see, of course, we had the consolidation, prices shifted, big push up, and now we're kind of consolidating again. And now you're kind of looking for price to break out, probably in that similar manner back to the upside. So I would favor that as well. But the only thing I don't like is that we had this big wick there, big wick rejection a few candles ago, which isn't nice because that's the direction we're trading in. And price, of course, had such a hard time pushing in that direction. So I don't like that. The recent 4 hour candle looks good because it just left a big wick to the downside and closed. It's a nice shooting star, not shooting star as a hammer candle, the opposite of a shooting star. So that's telling us that, okay, momentum has fell to the downside. We closed strongly. You're kind of expecting us to push up now. So I don't mind that in terms of the 4 hour candles and how things are looking. I would have thought you'd be trading it on more of an intraday time frame, but the 4 hour has some logic to it. Not a trade that I will take, of course, but as long as it kind of fits your plan, fits your fits your strategy, fits your rules, then of course I can never knock you for that. As long as you tick your boxes, then that's all you can do at the end of the day. But in terms of the momentum in the 4 hour, I would gauge it in terms of a move higher, so I do like it. But yeah, I think your targets make sense as well. You're not looking for anything crazy. Target back to that area there. It's kind of where you would want to protect yourself in terms of partials or a stop loss to break even. And the risk reward looks pretty sensible as well. Probably looking at like maybe a 1 to 1.5 or maybe a 1 to 2 to your second target. So yeah, it's around a 1 to 2, and that's like a 1.127. So not bad, not bad. I can't knock it. And you said you're currently in this position as well? I do expect pound yen to go higher too, but if I was looking to buy it, I'd kind of want price to push a little bit lower down to this area here and see if I can take some buys afterwards. How's the Japanese index looking like? So I was keeping an eye on this one yesterday. Too many twos. Keeping an eye on this one yesterday, and it's kind of still reacting with that low. Okay, we had a bit of a push down with that wick, but oh, okay. We did have a bit of a push down, but looks like price shot back up and looks like it's trying to form a higher low there as we came into this area. So yeah, for the Japanese index, so yeah, I'm kind of looking at move up. Sorry, just invert the chart because sometimes I see it a little bit better if it's upside down, believe it or not. But yeah, I'm looking for something like this for the index. I'm looking at something like that. Nothing crazy. I do think the bigger move is still very much to the downside. So that's still very much what I'm looking at. I think as long as we don't break past this point here, I'm looking at the Japanese index moving down. Maybe not all the way back to the swing low, but I do see a big move down. But for now, I do think we'll probably break higher up. Maybe not all the way up there as well. It could just be coming back to retest some structure here. But the key thing in what I'm seeing is these higher lows. And the fact is that the market had a really aggressive sell-off and it still retained that area with a big rejection. So I'm kind of expecting this to happen in the next few hours, couple of days with the yen pairs. So if the index does push up, that means the yen pairs will push up with it. So if we go back to pound yen, we probably will see something like this, CAD yen, something like this as well, New Zealand yen, something like this as well, Euro yen. You guys get the gist. But again, expecting it to be retracement for the market to continue moving down. So yeah, that's what I'll still be looking at for the sells up there. That's still the main move I'm after. But I do think we can push up just to get that retracement because we had such a big sell-off, So it's only right if we retrace. How the other USD pairs looking. NZUSD is still trading at this big level here. Again, I am bullish on NZUSD, but I can't buy it if it's trading at such a big level, 0.62. A couple of weeks ago, I was looking for the break and retest of this level actually, because we had this breakout here, and I was looking for the retest for a buy, but it didn't hold. Price broke for the level. I think I was focusing more on Aussie dollar at the time, but we broke for the level, didn't give me a clean entry, so I didn't take the trade. Then we broke below, and our price looks like it's coming back to retest it. So if anything, if we struggle to break through this level, it could end up being a nice sell there for NZUSD. But yeah, I'm not really looking to partake in that just yet. Dollar CAD still do have a bearish bias. US CHF, this is an interesting one because I'm bearish USD, but I don't want to be looking to sell USD CHF as we approach this low here. As you can see, last time we're here, massive reaction. Now's not the time to be looking to sell dollar CHF, at least from a swinger point of view. If you're day trading, looking at the short term, of course you can get away with some sells there, but if you're looking to swing, especially over numerous days, you know, you can't be looking to take sells here. You can, of course. I can't stop you doing anything, but in terms of logic, defies a lot of it. Forex Trader will take a look at pound Aussie. No problemo, my friend. So pound Aussie, I like pound Aussie. I do like pound Aussie. At the moment, it's still just about holding on to this high here. So I've talked about pound Aussie in terms of its stepping stones. We've got a nice low there, higher low there, higher low here with the double bottom, another higher low there. So we're slowly pushing up. So I'm looking to see if we are going to form another higher low on the retest of this structure here, which also lines up with that high. So I'm looking to see if that can hold for a push higher up. At the moment, it kind of is, but the price action is very, very awkward. You can see how we're moving. It's kind of like 50-50 really. But what I did say yesterday is if price can have another push down and then a solid rejection, nice double bottom, that would be something that could entice me for a trade. Stop loss below the low, targets back at the high here. And then if everything moves smoothly, we could be looking at possibly a push back to that daily swing high up there. If I mark it on the daily chart, back to that swing high. So there's a lot of upside potential here for pound Aussie, a lot of upside potential. If the market's going to keep up with these higher lows, then there's a good chance that we're coming back to retest that same high. So I'll be focused on the buys. If the support level doesn't hold, if the buys don't hold, then on the flip side, there's also some nice sells too. So, if you do have a bearish bias, simply wait for this area to break. And I would kind of be looking at something like this to happen equally as we did it over here. There again, push back to the low. That could be a nice trade to take advantage of as well. So either way, there's a nice trade to be had here for pound Aussie if you're looking to buy or sell. But if you're looking to sell, I would definitely wait for this low to break. If you're looking to buy, I'll look for some more rejection here. Then, of course, look, take the buy back up again. But I like pound Aussie because both ways, there's sense in both ways. It just depends how price is going to hold into this 1.955 area. But for now, since we're holding a support, pretty bullish in pound Aussie, looking for push into 1.968 and then 1.99. So yeah, that's my outlook in pound Aussie. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content here, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It does really help out the channel. I do appreciate everyone who has liked so far. It does really help out. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. If you haven't done so, what are you waiting for? Show some love. Do appreciate it. And of course, whilst you're at it, hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. What do you think of Aussie dollar? I will get onto Aussie dollar. I haven't looked at it yet, so we'll take a look. Can I take us Euro JPY sell right now? Again, I don't really want to answer those questions. They're always very, very tricky. Should I sell this? Should I buy this? Again, if you feel like you should sell it, do sell it, but trade a demo account, open a demo account, open an account, which of course has no risk to it, because clearly if you're asking someone, should I sell or buy this? You're probably not at a stage where you want to trade with live capital, or at least you don't want to do that anyway, because you'd be very, very emotional. And if you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to put real risk involved. So open a demo account and take the sell. Take the sell, because the best way to learn in trading is to be trading. Of course, you want to be back testing and then formulating a plan and refining that plan, testing an edge. All of that is necessary stuff as well. But trading is one of those things where you build experience by trading. So if you feel like there is a sell there because of XYZ, then take the sell, note it down, record the trade, and continue from there on. Because if I say, yes, it's a sell, it works, then what? You're going to keep coming to me to ask for trades. And if it doesn't work, then what? So there's no kind of benefit to me telling you if it's a sell or not. But what I will say is, though, if it is a sell and it fits my plan, then I would take the sell. And if I don't take the sell on Euro yen, then it doesn't fit my plan, so it's not a sell for me. It might be a sell for someone else, though. So yeah, go and take the trade on the demo account, test it out, and record that way. You will learn so much better. You want to become the asset yourself, of course. So yeah, that's my biggest advice to you. But I'll take a look at Euro yen as well. First, let me go through Aussie dollar. So yeah, Aussie dollar looking really bullish. Again, another USD pair. So this one's having a lot of fun right now. I'm expecting us to get back to the high here at 0.6678 and then eventually 0.686. That was my original plan a couple of weeks ago when I did get into the buys before an FP. I think my entry was around here somewhere. I got stopped out, and then now price is pushing up. I mean, I could have re-entered, but I chose Euro USD instead, and it's doing the same thing. That's the thing about the USD pairs. They all roughly move the same way. So you just pick and choose which one looks the better, and then trade that one. And at the time, it was Euro USD for me, which is why I'm going to buy for this one and not an Aussie. But I'm expecting Aussie to push back to the high here, so I do see a bit more upside. In terms of trading Aussie, it's a bit difficult. You want to be trying to buy low and sell high in these conditions, because you can see how price is moving. It's very range bound. And in range bound markets, you don't want to be looking for continuation trades, because you don't want to be buying high and trying to sell higher. It's difficult to do it in these conditions because the market keeps reversing on itself. It's not like we're doing this where you can buy high and sell higher. The market's going to be flat and do this. You want to buy low and sell high. So now that we have pushed up, in fact, the sells make the most sense as we approach the high again. So as you can see, lovely rejection there again to an extent. If you can push back to the high, see some rejection, there could be some nice sells there, maybe at some point this week or maybe next week. And that to me looks like the best trade there with Aussie. This here looks like a nice target. Back into that daily level there, around 0.67. So you're effectively trading from 0.68 to 0.67. And then maybe we push back up again to the upside. But you can see how kind of noisy the price action is. So you don't want to be so... you don't want to be trying to hold trades for too long, because It's just very, very difficult to do it in these conditions. But the sell from the high makes sense. Back at the high where we've respected the levels, a couple of times before really, really well. And this target here makes a lot of sense. Coming back to a big psychological level of 0.67, big level support resistance. That looks like a good target to me. So yeah, that's kind of the trade I would eye up for Aussie if I was looking to trade it. But yeah, not the biggest fan because it is quite choppy. But that's the next best opportunity I can see. Let me know what you're looking at in terms of Aussie dollar as well. By the way, I will be live again later today with Trader Nick on his channel as well. I think that'll be live around 2 p.m. UK time. So if you guys are free to drop in and say hi and say hi, feel free to check it out. I'll probably post the link to the stream in my Telegram. But we'll be live again later today around 2 p.m. That'll be after the news as well, so you can see what happens with the USD news, see what happens with CAD news as well, how that's affecting the market. I'll have a look at Euro Yen now and K13. Have I done USJPY? We'll take a look at USJPY. I mean, we'll go through some yen pairs whilst I'm on the topic. But yeah, Euro Yen, I do expect to see some upside here. Price has come back to some lovely higher time frame levels of support. We've had a pretty big move down over the recent past few days. So I do expect the market to retrace now. It just depends how far the market will retrace. That's the question. Because I'm really bearish long term with Euro Yen. This to me looks like a massive head and shoulder pattern. If I point out, so left shoulder over here, you got the lovely head over there. Of course, this is your neckline and the right shoulder. So this to me looks like a massive head and shoulder pattern. So I do expect to see Euro Yen reverse longer term and capitulate to the downside. I do see that happening with Euro Yen, but now's not the time to be looking to take advantage of those sells because we're coming back into the neckline. I do feel like we'll probably bounce since the market's quite stretched and we haven't seen much upside of late as well. So the market probably is going to push higher, but I very much will be looking to take shorts again. Let's see if it can push all the way up here, retest that low. I'll be more than happy to be looking for some sells in this area. Of course, I'll be waiting for my triggers. I don't just sell once price gets to a particular level. I do wait for price action. I do wait for triggers, candlestick patterns, and then I enter. And then, yeah, I'll be looking to see if I can take it back down to the low and maybe beyond. But for now, I do like the buys here for Euro Yen. I did say if you're looking to buy, probably do want price to sell off one more time and then try and catch the low because buying now means you'll have quite a wide stop loss. So if price can get back, let me just clean up the chart really quickly. If price can get back to that low again, try and catch a buy on the dip. That looks like a nice entry to me. Basically, expecting this low to hold and catch a push higher, and then we can speak about some sells later on. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Euro Yen. So I wouldn't look to sell it. If anything, I would be looking for some short-term buys. So hopefully that makes sense for Euro Yen. I'll go take a look at dollar yen afterwards. Roadway fixed time management if I want to trade for the rest of my life. Yeah, time management is pretty critical in trading as well. I mean, there's a lot of management, risk management, time management, self-management, your emotional management. All of that is a big element to trading into and doing this for a long time because trading is one of those professions. It doesn't actually take a lot of your time up. It's just about when you're on the charts and the decisions you make when you're there. Is what makes you a good trader. It's not that okay. I spend 10 hours looking at the screen today, therefore I did a good job. Of course, in terms of learning, in terms of developing a strategy, in terms of developing experience in the market. Of course, everyone has to go through that period. But once you're actually trading consistently profitably, it then just becomes looking to managing that time to when it's needed. So in the morning, do some analysis, and then maybe check the charts again at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Or you have a certain window where you trade from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then, all of that you can decide, because everyone else has things going on in their lives and different commitments and different trading styles and all of that lovely stuff. So, that will be tailored to you. But my biggest advice is create a plan and then stick to it. And if you need to change the plan, you can always amend the plan later down the road. But if you can practice the habit of creating a plan and sticking to the plan, you're already ahead of a lot of traders. And you'll benefit massively for it. And Keba will take a look at NZD CAD. No problemo. Cadello today, President Trump dropping a crypto project. I am not aware of that. I am not aware of that crypto project. Okay, we'll take a look at oil as well for Nkeba, no problem. Hamza, please advise Bitcoin Gold trading platform for UK. Are you talking about Bitcoin against gold or Bitcoin, or Bitcoin and gold? I mean, there's many platforms you can use. You can use MetaTrader, CTrader, TradingView. You can use TradingView as well. But yeah, MetaTrader is free to use, so check out MetaTrader. Okay, so I'll go through dollar yen, and then I'll go through NZD CAD, oil, and Bitcoin. If anyone else wants me to take a look at a certain pair that you have an interest in or have a question about, or just want to share it, drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look. But yeah, in terms of dollar yen, so yeah, I'm expecting to see some upside. And in fact, if I wasn't in Euro USD, I probably would actually look to try and find some entries in dollar yen. The only reason why I'll stay out the market with dollar yen is because I'm trading Euro USD, and that's a dollar pair, and dollar yens are, of course, a USD pair as well. So I don't want to be in two USD pairs going into the Fed interest rate tomorrow, because I'll be swinging positions. So if I do buy dollar yen today, 8 times out of 10, I'll still be in the trade by tomorrow evening, unless I'm stopped out before then. It definitely wouldn't have hit my targets by then. So I'll most likely be in the trade. So I don't want to be in $2 positions going into the Fed interest rate. That's just not great. One, I can manage, especially when it's risk-free as well. Two, maybe, two shouldn't be that bad as well, because one is break even, but I want to be on the safer side of things, especially for a big thing like the Fed interest rate. So that's why I'm going to probably stay on the fence with dollar yen. But in terms of the analysis, I do like it to the upside. We've been moving in this descending channel here. If I drop to the 4 hour, we've been moving in this descending channel, and now we're back at the lower end. So naturally, I do expect to see dollar yen push to the upside and have that retracement, maybe a swing back to the upper end of the channel for a third test. And we've also come into a really critical low, which is this swing low here on the weekly daily time frame. This is the swing low, which gave us this massive drive to the upside, which created new highs. Now we're back at that same level there again. So this for me is a really critical level. And if the market can hold on to this, it can definitely give us a pretty big reaction to the upside. Who knows? We could even see something like this. I just spoke about a massive head and shoulder pattern on euro yen. Something like that could form on dollar yen as well. And we could take advantage of this buy back up as well. So there's a lot of upside potential for dollar yen. Should it go through? Of course, nothing's 100%, but in terms of where we're buying from, it's a sensible location. So I like the buys there with dollar yen. I like the buys there, but what I would wait for is just a stronger close here, because the candles look very tired. So I want price to start shooting up, show me some momentum there, and then that will be my entry trigger. Stops below the low, maybe a first target back at this high here, or maybe the trend line here, and then we can see how far we can take it. But that's kind of how I would look at dollar yen. Let me know what your outlook is for dollar yen as well. Okay, we'll go through SD CAD next and oil and no problem, Roadway. Happy to help. Especially when some of us don't have other people in our lives to talk about markets. That's true. But see how traders think and go about their trades. Yeah, I mean, it's a very unique thing, streaming trading, because, you know, 10 years ago you didn't really have this, or maybe you did have it to a degree, but not as accessible as on YouTube for everyone to watch. So yeah, it is an interesting thing, because trading is always it's a lonely, to a degree, it's a lonely profession. You know, it's only you and your screens at the end of the day. Um, you don't need necessarily an employee, or a team. You can have a team if you want, but it's always a very individual thing. So yeah, a lot of traders kind of just trade on their own, and yeah, you won't really have a lot of people to talk to. I mean, because they won't understand really. Only a trader will understand what another trader, is going through, and the hardships of trading as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm very glad I'm in this opportunity where I can create this live stream and have other people come and connect with me and connect with each other as well. So it's a nice space, and I really do appreciate everyone tuning in, saying hi, saying giving their 2 pence. I really do enjoy it, to be fair. So I'm equally as grateful, to be honest, to have everyone come into my stream, because at the end of the day, no one has to turn up. No one has to turn up, but some people turn up every single day, every single week, like I'm paying them, and I'm not. So yeah, it's a win-win situation, really. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, guys, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out the channel, and it benefits the channel, of course. And yeah, if you guys are finding it useful, informative, educational, entertaining, any of the above, it does really help out. But anyway, let's let's not get too sentimental here. Game face. I'm joking. Okay, so we'll take a look at New Zealand CAD. So yeah, so New Zealand CAD's been a bit difficult to maneuver. I've been pretty bearish on NZD CAD, but it looks like price is starting to break the high here. So again, my thought process has been with NZD CAD is that as long as we stay below 0.84, I'm expecting price to drop here. That's been my plan. That's been my expectation. But now it looks like price is trying to break above. It's not concrete. I would say I need a candlestick looking like this to really say, okay, price is broken out of it. We're not holding this level anymore. In fact, I'll start looking for some buys. So I need something like that to really confirm to me that we're breaking above the high. But early signs are showing that we might be looking to do that. Again, SDK is not really a pair I'm looking to trade anyway, but that's been my thought process. So if we are going to break to the upside, then this will become our next target we're expecting the market to get to. Because if we are going to clear this, last time we did clear that level, where did we get to? We got to this high. So if the market is going to break out of this, there's a good chance we're going to get to this high and probably further as well. So SDCAD for me, it's been a difficult one to look at. And Kevin, what's your bias with NZD? Are you looking to sell or buy? Let me know. But if we keep this up, then I'm expecting a push back to 0.849, roughly 0.85 longer term. If we are going to break the high, and it looks like Aussie CAD is looking pretty bullish as well. Again, both of these pairs I don't like. NZD CAD, Aussie CAD, not looking concrete. No problem, Karis. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of these two currency pairs at all. Like I said, if we are going to clear the high, I'm looking for us to come back to 0.85. If we just see a crazy bearish engulfing candle, the market holds onto that level, great. The sales are still active, and I'm still looking for that drop. But at this point, it ain't looking likely. So yeah, not a big fan of this pair. And again, I do have a wide range of pairs which I look at. I think 31 pairs which I look at, all Forex majors, minors, gold and silver, adds up to about 31. And I can tell you now, all those 31 pairs, I'll probably say only about 5 or 6 I would have a good gauge on of what I'm expecting the market to do. And there's a solid opportunity that's on the horizon. For the rest of those, 25, 26 pairs that I'm looking at, some of those I'll have no idea what I'm expecting there because the price action just isn't clear. Some I might have a rough idea, but I need some more price action to really confirm that bias, so to make it a good opportunity. And some I might be on the cusp of looking like an opportunity, and I could be adding to my watch list pretty soon. But on average, there's probably about 5 or 6 maybe pairs that actually look good to trade and that could give me a nice opportunity at some point this week. So there's many pairs I'm looking at, and like there's no kind of opportunity there for me. So in the weekend when I do analyze my charts for the following week, have a look at them, and if they're not looking good, I'll just skip through it and just move on to the next one, because I don't want to waste my time trying to decipher a market that I have to really try and squint and tilt my head. If I'm doing that, then I'm probably wasting my time, because the best trades I've taken from my experience have always been fairly easy to spot. It's like, okay, this market is bullish. That's where I want to buy. End of discussion. It's just clear. If I have to squint, tilt my head left and right, arm and R, then it's probably not a good trade in the first place, and I'm doing too much to see the trade. Good trades are normally quite clear and they're normally quite precise. So if entity CAD, the fact that my bias isn't clear, the fact that is where I want to buy it isn't clear or that clear, just means it's a pair that I shouldn't be looking to trade. Of course, maybe for someone else it looks good and it fits their plan and whatnot, but at least for myself, it's just a pair that I would put to one side at least. How's the DXY looking? Still holding to that level. We'll see what we have at 130. Anywho, I'll go through oil. UJ looking sweet. Manzondi looking for some buys on dollar yen as well. I think quite a lot of people have mentioned dollar yen over the past couple of days. So yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in some longs there. I don't blame them. I like it to the upside as well. I think out of all the yen pairs, longs and dollar yen make the most sense, at least from a technical point of view. But of course, fundamentally, the news can come out and could mess things up a lot. But I like it from a technical point of view. The upside makes a lot of sense there. Anyway, let me go through oil quickly. So oil, I like the shorts with oil. Again, oil's not a pair I do trade. It's not on my watch list, but in terms of the technicals, they do look pretty good. I like the support we created there. We never really came back for a retest, so it's still relatively fresh. If price can move up to that level, retest it, look for a short. I'm expecting price to swing back into the low here and maybe beyond as well, but we'll discuss that at a later date. For now, this is a phenomenal level of support. You can see price really respected that area. We're seeing some really strong moves to the upside. Since then, we've broken through, haven't really come back for a retest. So if price is kind enough to retest it, brilliant. Let's use that to our advantage and then hopefully catch a sell back into the low there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for oil. You're looking for a test of 74. That's around here. So you're looking for your supply area. Yeah, I'm more of a support resistance type of guy, so I'll be looking at shorts at this area. But I think your supply area is not a bad location either. I think we might get those pullbacks on the indices today before the news. Possibly. The news is at 1:30, so we've got about 2 hours or just less than 2 hours before we do get the news come out. I mean, depends what time frame you're looking at, because if you think about it from an hourly perspective, those 2 hours is just 2 candlesticks on the hourly chart. In fact, it will actually just be one candle. This bearish candle here will close, and then it will be one more candle which will close at 1 p.m. and then the next candle will be affected by the news because it'll be at 1:30. So it'll be it'll be whilst that candle's moving, the news will come out. So effectively, you've got this candle close and the next one before the news comes out. So I'm not too sure if you will get enough retracement. I mean, it depends what you're looking for, but I'm not too sure if you'll get enough retracement before the news comes out. I'm more thinking that the news will help push price down, and then there could be some nice buys after the news. So two o'clock, 2:30, 3 p.m., 3:30, 4 p.m. even. 2-3 hours after the news, there might be some nice buys shortly afterwards, because the news could help push us down. But of course, you could be correct as well. That we might push down, hard before that happens. But in my eyes, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just, can we get that healthy retracement? Can you get that opportunity? If you do, great. Take the trade. But yeah, I'm very bullish on the indices. You might even be looking to sell, to be honest. I'm very bullish on the indices. So I'm looking at these highs being taken out. I'm looking at US 100 pushing back into 19,900, we'll call it. I'm looking at US 30 probably pushing a little bit higher, maybe to 42K. And S&P, I'm expecting some new highs at some point. Maybe we do react and see some downside, but I'm expecting price to break high and take the high out. Yeah, I do think the indices will push on. How's the German? How's the DAX doing? Yeah, DAX is looking pretty strong. We're pushing up pretty hard. This one's probably gonna get back to the high there as well. Maybe even some new highs there too. How's the FTSE doing? Looking pretty bullish too. Broke the high. This one might be pushing back to 84.74 as well. It looks like the indices are pretty bullish across the board, actually. Pretty bullish across the board, maybe apart from the Japanese index. But other than that, indices look pretty strong. You will have it say tomorrow. USD will have it say. Is anyone looking to hold trades through the Fed tomorrow, or is everyone going to be out the market by then? And again, there is no wrong or right decision necessarily with that. Every big news event, someone always asks me, should I trade the news or should I not? My answer to that is always, if you can stomach the risk and your risk is managed, then of course you can trade through the news, but you want to be looking at more of a swing style with it. Because if you have like a 10 pip stop loss on gold going into the Fed interest rate, then of course that's a recipe for disaster. Even if you're in the right direction, you probably will get wicked out. Spreads will widen. It's not going to be a good day for you, even if you are in the right direction of the news. Even if you're a USD, it won't be great either. So if you had a stop loss of like 50, 60, 70, even plus pips, you're in a good situation, and your risk is managed. Even if your stop loss is at break even, these are all pluses for you to hold through the news. If you're intraday and you've got tight stop loss and price at your entry, probably not the best thing to do. Because if you do get slipped, you can get slipped pretty bad. A 1% loss could turn into a 3, 4, or 5. And that's not good. That's just unnecessary drawdown. If I can get an entry on NASDAQ before news, then maybe okay. Okay, pound CAD, I'll have a look as well. That one last time I had a look was pretty bullish. But 25 for me is always worrisome. Are you talking about the 25 base points? Let me have a quick look at pound CAD. Yeah, pound CAD, that was a really nice candle closure yesterday. Really strong candle closure, breaking through that level like it's nothing. So yeah, pound CAD is looking pretty bullish, and yeah, I would not mind a retest of this area. Say pound CAD was to do something like this, I would not mind a little buy there, because the trend is in full flow. The trend is in full flow. and not really showing signs of slowing down, especially with that breakout. So a retest of that, I would expect it to hold, and I would be expecting continuation. So I do like pound CAD to the upside. There's a big level above us around 1.82 as well, which price may you be attracted towards. But it's very clear to see that this level now is going to be acting as support. So should we get there? Should we retest? That for me looks like a nice place for a buy around 1.785. Let me know what you're looking at in terms of pound CAD, but I'll be very bullish. I know some people now will be looking at this, okay, in terms of, okay, we had a big breakout, price is quite stretched. We're likely to retrace now, so let me start looking to sell. Yeah, that's a perfectly logical thought process to have. The fact that the market's broken out and we're likely to retrace. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you're taking trades in reasonable areas. You know, I'm not too sure where price is right now, but it's not necessarily lining up with any other confidence for me. I mean, some other people might have some other confidences, great, but the sales are not really backed by much. So I do expect the retracement to happen, but I wouldn't sell it to try and take advantage of that. I'll just be waiting for the buys. 1.785 is where my focus would be with pound CAD. But that's a phenomenal move there. So should it pull back? That looks pretty interesting to me. Lines up with the 50 more or less. Not a bad trade at all. Not a bad trade at all. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be keeping my eye on for pound CAD. Maybe this one could be an interesting watch this afternoon with the CAD CPI as well. Okay, at 25 base points. Well, yeah. Okay, so you're talking about before the Fed interest rate, so not before the news this afternoon. I thought you were talking about the news today, retail sales, but it looks like you're talking about the interest rate tomorrow. So yeah, you probably could get a trade before the news. You probably could get the trade before the news. To be honest, in fact, that's probably the best the best situation, actually, the best scenario. If you do get the trade before the news, if you can be done and dusted, and then you can sit back with some popcorn, a nice cold drink, and watch the news unfold without any risk on your end. So there's no stress to be had. Yeah, that's the best way to watch the news. You don't want to be biting your nails, hoping that price moves in the direction. I mean, I will be doing that to an extent, but like I said, I've got a pretty wide stop loss. Yeah, effectively, because my stop loss is at break even now. Yeah, my stop loss is from this area to that area. Of course, we'll see where it is by the time the news comes out. But if it's in the same area, I've got about 80 pip stop loss to break even. It's a lot of room. It's Euro USD. Slippage is not too bad here for me, unless it completely melts at the sky. Then maybe I could get slipped a bit, but it won't be anything dramatic. Touch wood. And yeah, best case scenario, it goes in my favor. But as I said, if you're looking to trade news or hold through news, you want to be having a wider stop, because small stops and news, it doesn't go together. Might hop on YouTube to see Forex Gurus blow accounts. Yeah, that's always a nice way to finish the day with watching. I mean, there's a few compilations you can see on YouTube of people max leveraging their accounts going into news, NFP. There's a lot of NFP ones, and then just seeing their accounts blow. I mean, you don't wish that on anyone, but if you're gonna, max leverage yourself out, go in guns blazing into the news, you could either walk away a hero or a villain to yourself. So yeah, it can go both ways. That's why I say always just be aware of the risk. Always be aware. If you're aware of the risk, then whatever happens, happens. It's always the reaction. Yeah, because the reason why someone will go full risk, full account into a news is that they're very confident that the news will be in their favor. They're not really thinking if it goes against me, because of course, if they thought about that to a sensible degree, they would at least reduce their risk. Because okay, if this doesn't go against me, my whole count is gone. maybe I should reduce the risk at least a little bit. But no, you go full risk into a news event, and it's 50-50. It's either going to go for you or against you. Like I said, if it goes for you, you look like a genius. If it goes against you, you look like you fill in the word there. So it's yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've never done that before. Even when I was just starting out, never really had that motivation to go full risk continues. I don't like the stress, to be honest. I don't like the stress. Even when I was trading with very, very small accounts, I don't like the stress. That's not what I started trading for at all. But yeah, anyway, in terms of from now until the news, I'll be keeping a close eye on, of course, the euro position. Probably will stay out of dollar yen, but I'll keep an eye on it just for my interest sake. In terms of other pairs which aren't related to dollar yen, I mean to USD, well, closely anyway. I do like pound Aussie buys, so I am looking for something like this to the upside. So if I get a good entry, I will look to take a buy with pound Aussie. This is the pair on my weekly analysis, which I added as the bonus pair. So I really like this one to the upside. I like USD as well, but not quite at my area just yet. I also like Aussie CHF. Should this one pull back into this level, really big level on the daily chart, I do like this one to the upside from that area. And yeah, of course, gold and silver. If those guys can retrace, I would be very eager to pick them up to the long side of things, because I do see them both still pushing higher. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on those guys. But yeah, that's pretty much my plan going into the rest of the week. And of course, I like the yen pairs to the downside, but these guys, they need to retrace first. They need to retrace. Without the retracement, no opportunity for me. So kind of hoping maybe the news might push them up. But we shall see. Anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. As I said earlier, I will be going live later today with on Nick's channel. So if you do want to see more of me today, tune in around 2 p.m. UK time. So about 2 hours from now, I will go live on his channel for about 30 minutes. We'll see how the news comes out, the retail sales, CAD CPI. Of course, I'm going to update my position and anything else I'm doing. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time as usual on my channel, this channel, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Yeah, every single weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I am there. So if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But guys, appreciate you coming on to the stream. Have a great day. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel on your way out if you haven't done so already. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Check out Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that at the top of the chat. Can't miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there closer to launch. So if you don't want to miss out, check it out. But guys, appreciate you guys coming on. Have a great day, great afternoon, great evening. And I'll see you all, if not later today, tomorrow.